All right, I will go ahead and get started. Welcome everybody to Reach and Read. My name is Katie and I work at the Sacramento Public Library where books are just the beginning. We're so excited to have you here and to have local yoga instructor Kat Sun with us today. And we'll get to her in just a minute, but first I wanted to mention a few things. So first are just some housekeeping things. So we've disabled the participant mics, so you can use the chat function to share any questions or comments that you have throughout the program, and either myself or Kat will get back to you. If you're having any audio related issues during the program, please exit and then come back. We find that doing that will typically solve that issue. And my apologies if I keep looking over to the side, I'm letting people into the room. So that's what I'm doing. If you need closed captioning at any point, please click the live transcript button that you'll find at the bottom of your screen. You'll click that button, wait just a moment, and then you'll see closed captioning pop up and you can follow along. And I will make sure to put that in the chat as well. And also, I always like to mention, we ask for your grace and understanding in this virtual world that we are in. If there is some kind of a delay, one of the hosts drops off, or we experience any other type of interruption, please allow time for us to pick up and resume the program. I went too fast there. This is being recorded and it's going to be shared to our virtual yoga program, which is our virtual yoga playlist, which is on our YouTube channel. And you can find that under Sacramento Public Library. You'll see a whole plethora of present and past yoga programs that we've had, so you can get caught up if you happen to miss one. And then also stick around after the yoga demonstration for a short book talk based on this week's theme. And also, I wanted to mention that the Sacramento Public Library is a Healthy People 2030 champion. So that means that we are helping the community to lead healthier lives. And the CDC recommends adults get 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity and 2 days of muscle strengthening activity per week. And getting or staying active can have really great short-term and long-term benefits to your health. And you're about to get 45 minutes of movement, so you are on the right path. So to find out more information about this and to make a health plan for yourself, you can check out health.gov/moveyourway. And we also have tons of health resources available at the library. So like I mentioned, we have those past recordings of virtual yoga programs available on our YouTube channel. We do regular Zumba on Mondays at 5:30, which is virtual. We also do Zumba Gold on Wednesdays at 4, which is great for beginners and older adults to join. And of course, you can always check out a book about the benefits of exercise, mindfulness, and yoga. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn things over to Kat. So Kat, take it away, and everyone, please enjoy.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for being here. It's really nice to see you all. Before we get started, let's see just a few things. So I'm offering this from home, so I apologize in advance if you hear any kind of peripheral noise. You know, I have pets and my father and neighbors, so just excuse any noise if it occurs. And then also, as always, we will likely be using some yoga props. I know you're home and you may not have everything, but it's always good to have, you can see here I have I don't know if you can see it, but I have a yoga blanket. So you just need like maybe a blanket, a kind of a dense blanket, couple of yoga blocks, and a strap. So if you don't have the yoga strap, just a normal belt that you use around your waist often will work, or you know, a necktie or a long scarf or anything to help extend your reach. If you don't have the yoga blocks, then sometimes people will use some thick, dense books, or if you've got some dense cushions or anything like that, or you can always roll up some dense towels or anything like that, just to help create a little bit of a block-like item, because we will be using something like that today. And then with that said, today is the second class of a 7-class series, and the series is loosely focused around the 7 chakras, you know, this chakra system that is commonly known in the West, that moves up in the rainbow color spectrum. So today would be the second one, and so we're just loosely basing the series on that. And so the second one is located in the you know, they say it's located around the genital region, the low abdomen region, and by the spectrum of the colors, it would be orange. So this is the center. This is the Svadhisthana chakra. Svadhisthana's chakra. Hope I'm saying that right. Let me, folks are getting a little feedback. Let me just adjust that. So sorry about that. So at the Svadhisthana chakra, they say that that's kind of like its element is, it's related to the element of water, and it's kind of the seed of our creativity. So we're gonna kind of just be focusing a little bit on this kind of abdominal region today. Okay, so with that said, we're actually gonna start on our backs. So I like to have a little pillow underneath my head. You can use a folded blanket or just a comfortable cushion underneath your head. And then just allow yourself to ride comfortably onto your back. If you're on a hard floor, you need extra cushion, you might put another blanket all the way across underneath you. So just allowing yourself to be comfortable. All right, and then we'll go ahead and get started, and I'll be demoing along. So when you come onto your back, it's good to have your block or whatever you're gonna use for that. If you've got something, have it nearby within reach. And then starting on our backs, we always take a moment to just really allow ourselves to arrive and to land. So we live in a very busy culture today where we're often running around. So allowing the yoga practice to become a place where you can kind of slow down, and instead of focusing your energy and awareness outwards, start to soften your outer sense organs and begin to bring your awareness inwards. So as you arrive onto your back, hopefully with maybe a little pillow under your head, you can have your legs straight out if that's comfortable for your back. But if you've got low back stuff, a lot of times people find it more comfortable to have the knees bent, feet on the floor, and then you can let the feet be a little wider apart from each other so the knees can knock in towards each other. And then let's just start with our hands on our body, maybe bringing both hands, palms down on the belly. And just take a few breaths here. So just checking in. As you arrive here, feel the muscles along your spine relax into the support of the earth. Feel that any shift that occurs in your nervous system just by changing your orientation to the earth. And as you breathe, feel now the belly underneath your hands expanding with the inhalation, and then moving back down into the center with the exhale. You're just starting to feel the rise and fall of your breath. As you inhale and you fill up the lungs press the diaphragm down, causing the belly to expand out. As you exhale and the air empties out of the lungs, it allows the diaphragm to move back up, allowing the belly to sink back down. So just feeling your breath. Noticing the quality of your breath this morning as we get started. And then while you connect in with your breath, take a moment now to also maybe gently open your mouth and just wiggle out your jaw. Maybe you can stretch out your tongue, stretch out your face a little. And then letting your face muscles be soft as you gently close the lips. You can keep the tongue soft and short. And then soften the muscles around your eyes. Soften the muscles of the forehead. Relax around the temples and the cheeks. Good. And now, since we're focusing on this belly region today, with your hands, maybe you can start to give yourself a little palpation in your belly, your abdomen region. So we're going to start down. So underneath your belly button, slide your hands down and feel your pubic bone. So just above your pubic bone, just start to gently press into it and just start to go in, so going like a spiral towards the right. So stay in the outer circumference of the belly there. And then you get to your hip bone there on the right side. And you just not on the bone, but you're just palpating around it. So, and then you keep rotating. So we're kind of moving in a clockwise direction. You'll feel your ribs, the bottom floating ribs. You can palpate your fingers underneath the ribs. So again, not on the bone, but underneath it. And then you get to the center there. And then you can slide it down along the left ribs and then down towards the left hip bone. And then all the way back down to the pubic bone. So you can use your fingers, you can walk them, you can poke. So you're in control. You're just exploring your own abdominal region here. You're in control of how much pressure, what kind of touch, but just noticing. So just start to kind of create a spiraling action in this clockwise direction. So we're moving in the same direction so there's the ascending colon that moves up the right, and then the transverse colon that moves across the top, then the descending colon that moves down the left. So we're just going in this direction, in this clockwise direction, and you're just walking your fingers or your hands as you explore the belly region and start to make like a spiral. So from the outer circumference, start to slowly bring it in. And no rush. So take your time. If there's a spot you find that has a little extra tension or feels a little extra sticky, you can always linger and maybe press into it and breathe a little more. So letting this be really an inner exploration, right? So there's no doing it right or wrong. You're just really exploring your belly region. How often do we actually go in and explore and feel this region? So if you find some tightness, really just noting, maybe breathing into it. And then eventually you work your way in towards the belly button. You're circling just around the belly button. Take your time. Once you get towards the belly button, we're gonna go ahead and just take our hands now instead of the fingertips and just use the palm of the hands and circle the belly now above the belly button all around. And then just bring your hand, one hand over the other, right over your belly button. Just take a beat there. Breathing in, breathing out. Just noticing how it feels in this area. If you have a little more awareness, if things feel a little bit like maybe you shifted some energy. Okay, and then from there, we're gonna go ahead and open our arms out wide into a T. Walk, so now if your legs are straight, you can bend your knees, feet on the floor, and then walk your feet a little bit wider apart from each other. So they're about maybe even mat width apart. And then take an inhale. As you exhale, go ahead and let your knees drop to the right. So both knees are gonna rock to the right. And then inhale, we bring it back up to center. Exhaling, we rock those knees to the left. So nice and easy, just rocking a little side to side, creating a little bit of a twist as you stretch out one side, like the hip flexor on one side, then the other. And then we're gonna start to add the head. So next time you exhale, your knees go to the right, swing your head to look to the left. And then you inhale through neutral and other direction, knees to the left, head spins right. So head and knees are moving in opposite direction for this. Breathing in and out, just getting a little bit of movement, nice and gentle rocking through the body, noticing how it feels, where you feel it, staying with your breath. So actually initiating movement from breath. Okay, and then the next time you inhale up to neutral, let's pause. We're gonna take our arms up to the sky and we're gonna bend the elbows and clasp each elbow. So now we're gonna, again, inhale, and now as you exhale, take your knees to the right and your head to the right. So knees and head both move to the right and start to slide your elbows to the left. And then inhale, bring it up through center. And exhale, knees and head turn to the left, elbows slide to the right. So like that, moving with your breath. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, knees and head move in the same direction. Elbows go in the opposite direction. Side to side. Again, nice and slow. So rather than trying to get in a lot of repetitions, You're seeing if you can slow it down so that you can really feel the movement, the whole journey. And as always, if you find it feels good to just pause as you slide to one side, you're welcome to stay on that side and take a few rounds of breath. As you stay here, you can keep sliding the elbows in the opposite direction of the knees and the head. If you are pausing on one side, go ahead and bring it back up through center. And then exhale, slide to the second side. Take a few rounds of breath, pausing on this side. And then bring the whole thing up. And we're gonna go ahead and release our arms. From here, let's go ahead and interlace our fingers. And we're gonna press the palms up to face the sky. With the palms pressing up to the sky, can you press the index finger side of the palm up faster than the pinky side? And then we're gonna lift our shoulders off the floor, squeeze your shoulders up to your ears, press your shoulders down into the floor, and then slide the shoulders down the back towards the hips. So keep your shoulder blades moving down the back now, and then inhale, take your arms up overhead towards the top of the mat. And then exhale, release your arms, bring it back down. And again, inhale your arms up to the ceiling. Interlace your fingers with the other thumb on top. Again, press your palms up to the sky. So back of the hand is facing you. And again, press up through the index finger side faster than the pinky. And then another big shoulder circle. So circle the shoulders up towards the ceiling, then up to your ears, then down into the floor and down towards the hips. Keep them down towards the hips and press the arms all the way up towards the top of the mat again. And exhale, release. Now we're gonna go ahead and straighten both legs. So straighten out each leg. You can take, if you have anything under your head, you'll probably wanna move it out of the way for this. We're gonna, again, take our arms up overhead. So reaching up to the sky and then all the way up overhead. We're gonna clasp the left wrist with the right hand. Gently flex your feet now. So think about pressing out through the ball of the big toe and inner heel. Now with your right hand around your left wrist, you're gonna use the right hand to bring the left wrist to the right. So we're bending to the right. You walk your head and shoulders over to the right, but keep your chest and your face facing straight up towards the sky. So we're just taking a side bend to the right to stretch out the left seam. So really flexing the left foot and pressing out through the knife edge of that foot now as you lengthen through the left seam, using your right hand to bring the left wrist further to the right, standing open your left ribs, breathing into your left waist. Maybe you feel it on the outer seam of the left thigh. Maybe you feel it in that left armpit. Just one more breath, and then we'll slowly release, bring it back to center, and then we'll switch sides. So now switching to clasp your right wrist with your left hand. Again, feet are gently flexed, legs are engaged. We're gonna start to walk our head and shoulders over to the left, but keeping your chest and your face facing straight up. So just stretching out through the right seam. So again, you're kind of pressing out through the knife edge of that right foot now. As you take the stretch all the way up the right seam, expanding open your right ribs, breathing into that right side of your body. And then again, let's walk the whole thing back to center and release your hands. From here, we're gonna bend one knee at a time again, so feet are on the floor. Now you're gonna walk your feet in a little bit closer towards your hips. Maybe you can even touch the heels with the fingertips. You want your feet about you want your feet about hip width apart. So, and then you're gonna just spin your toes in a little bit. So you just want a very slight micro pigeon toe, not a lot, just a little bit. It just helps create a little space in our sacrum. Now we're gonna, if you have a block, you can take the block between your thighs. And if you don't, it's okay, don't worry about it. And we're gonna clasp our hands and place the hands behind the skull. So now the cup of the hands is gonna hold the base of the skull at the occipital ridge. And here, can you start to press your elbows down into the floor? As you press your elbows down into the floor, press your sacrum down and let your low back arch off the floor. And then you reverse, press your low back down, curl your tailbone up. Maybe if you've got the block, you can think about curling the tailbone up into the block. And then again, reversing that, press your sacrum down, press your elbows down, low back comes off the floor so you can roll a marble underneath your back. And then press that low back down, let the tailbone curl up, lifting your hips maybe just half an inch or an inch off the floor. Okay, so this time, again, go ahead and press the sacrum down, low back arches off the floor, the heart is buoyant as you press the elbows down, and then exhale, curl it up. All right. Sorry, and then now we're going to actually take the block out from between the thighs, but we're going to maintain that action. So, again, press your elbows down, low back arches off the floor, sacrum down. So this is like a cow pose, except we're on our back, right? And then exhaling, press the low back down, tailbone curls up. And now if you like, you can lift your head, bring your elbows towards each other. So a little crunch. So again, moving slow as you can. Inhale, expand the front body. Exhale, curling up, expanding through the back body as you contract a little in the front. So just nice and slow. Again, not counting for repetitions, rather slow down the movement to feel the whole journey. So inhaling, we lower the head down to expand the heart, that low back arches off the floor. Exhale, we curl it up. Now we're going to be adding on. So inhale, bring it back down. Now as you exhale, go ahead and let your right elbow cross the midline towards the left hip. So we're doing a little bit of a side curl. Inhale, we bring it back down. Expand the front body. Exhale, curl it over to the other side. So left elbow towards the right hip. So like that, side to side, as slow as you can. Exhaling, right elbow to the left. Inhale down. Exhale, left elbow to the right. Inhale down. We're going to do a few more like those. If you want, you can now lift the left foot as you take the right elbow across. So the right elbow and left knee kind of kiss. And then inhale, bring it back down. Exhale, left elbow to the right knee. If adding the leg is not good in your body, then just keep the foot down. Let's do just a couple more. So nice and easy. Stay with it. Good. Exhaling, left elbow to right knee. Inhaling down. Last set. Exhaling, right elbow, left knee. Bring it down. Exhaling, left elbow to right knee. And bring it down. Now, once you're down, again, press your both elbows down, arch the low back off the floor. And now as you exhale, press the low back down. Both feet come off the floor, both knees toward each elbow. Curl it up. Inhale, open it. Again, exhale, curl. So again, if adding the knees doesn't work, then just keep your feet on the floor. But just coming through center always once we've gone side to side. Good. And then next time you come down, go ahead and release your arms out to the sides, palms up, walk your feet a little bit wider apart. And again, we're going to windshield wiper. So go ahead, exhale, both knees rock to the right. Now pausing here, stretching out that left psoas and belly. Bring it up through center and exhaling, both knees rock to the left. So stretching out through the right side. Good, and then one more time, side to side, stretch it out. Okay, and then we're coming back to neutral. All right, so we're focusing a little bit on our core today. So I got another core exercise for you all. I know Core is not my favorite either, but it's so important for us to cultivate our core. It really, like these days, so many people have issues with their low back pain. And so one of the things we do to help with that is we help build our core and stretch out our hamstrings and hips. A lot of times that helps release discomfort in the back. So again, if you have the block, you're going to take the block back between your thighs. And if you don't have the block or a rolled up towel or anything to squeeze between your thighs, then don't worry about it. But you want your feet about hip width apart again. And again, we're going to interlace the hands behind the head. So now take the opposite thumb on top. So you're taking the more awkward feeling clasp. And then again, we're going to start here with the elbows opening wide. Press your elbows down into the floor. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to lift the feet off of the floor. So you can just have your knees bent with your feet off the floor here. And then hugging the block between your thighs. Just give it a little gentle squeeze. And like you want to spit the block towards the bottom of the mat, away from your head. You're spitting it towards where your feet would be on the mat. And then you keep that inner spiral of the thighs. Can you start to pin your tailbone up into the block? You'll feel your hips maybe lift like quarter, half inch off the floor. You keep the lift. Keep your tailbone pinning up. And now keep your elbows open. Exhale, just lift your head straight up. Inhale, we bring the head back down. But again, curl your tailbone up. Exhale, head up. Inhale, head down. Curl that tailbone up. Exhale, head up. Just two more. Stay with me. Inhale, head down. Tailbone curls up. Exhale, head up. Inhale, head down. Curl your tailbone up. Last one. Exhale, head up. And then inhale, head down. Bring your feet down. And then take that block out from between your thighs again. And again, open your arms wide into the T. Walk your feet about a little bit wider apart. And just windshield wiper those knees again, side to side. Stretch out your low belly, your psoas. Okay. And then feet on the floor. From here, let's go ahead. Hopefully you all have a strap. So now we're going to just do a little stretching through the hamstring and the hips, even though that's not, I know, part of this region. It will help with any low back stuff. So we're going to take our strap and we're going to lift the right foot and slide the strap underneath the sole of the right foot. And then you hold either side of the strap. So again, if you don't have a yoga strap, just use a belt, a dog leash, anything like this that can extend your reach. And then you're just going to bend and straighten your leg up and down a few times. I do this almost every class because I find it so helpful for all of us. And then if you're ready, you can keep your foot lifted, keeping your ankle stacked over your hip. If your leg is straight, you're going to broaden through the sole of the foot, spreading the toes. Now, if this is really too much for your hamstring, then just keep it dynamic. You can inhale and exhale up and down, right? So that's a nice way to get into the movement. You press up through the heel every time you straighten up. Otherwise, if you're here, then just breathing here for a few beats and really think about pressing up through the heel to straighten and lengthen the back line of the leg. And then from here, we're going to take both sides of the strap in the right hand. Now, if you do have a block or a cushion, you can bring it right up against your outer right hip just for some support. If you don't, then don't worry. So again, holding both sides of the strap in the right hand now, you're going to take your left hand and just bring it onto your left hip bone. So you just use your left hand to keep your left hip bone grounded, and we're going to inhale and open our right leg out to the right. As your right leg comes out to the right, take the strap length you need so that your right elbow can just rest on the floor, and you can slide your right shoulder blade down the back. So you make sure your right arm isn't over gripping, your right shoulder isn't over gripping. It's more or less pretty relaxed. And then you're just here stretching out the inseam of your right leg. So think about pressing out through the ball of the big toe and inner heel. And then we bring it back up. And then as always, we're going to switch hands. So left hand holds both sides of the strap. We can now use the right hand, heel of the palm, presses into the hip crease where the thigh and torso meet. Really get it down in there. And use the heel of the palm to press the thigh bone away from you as you slowly let your foot cross the midline, stacking that right ankle over the left hip. Use your right hand to press the right thigh away from you. You'll start to get a stretch already, maybe in the outer thigh, outer hip. And then slowly, slowly, you can let that right foot creep, move further and further to the left. You're seeking the stretch on the outer seam of the right thigh and hip area. So we're now targeting the outer right IT band area. And then bring it back up. And from here, let's go ahead. We're going to straighten our left leg long. And we're going to take the strap off the right foot. We're going to bend the right knee and plant your right foot on top of your left thigh. Then you can open your right arm out to the right, palm up. Bring your left hand to the outside of your right knee. Take a breath in here. And with the exhale, use your left hand to bring the right knee across the body. So now your right hip comes off the floor as you roll to the outer left hip. And we're coming into a twist. So again, you're in control of how deep you move into your twist. And just take a breath here. Feel the breath here in your twist. Notice, what does the breath feel like with the rib basket kind of torqued, the diaphragm in this torqued position. Take a big breath in, and then as you exhale, clear it out. Feel your abdominal region twisting here. Feel what's going on in that area that we're focusing on today. So it's like we're wringing out the organs. Okay, and then we roll back onto our back. Once you're back on your back, you can use your hands to hug your right knee in. And then with your hands interlaced, go ahead and straighten the right leg long. Press your palms up overhead. Take a full body stretch. And then exhale and release. And I forgot to tell you on the first side, but if you're laying here with your head on the floor and you find that your chin is way above your forehead, then it's better to take something underneath your head again, just so that your forehead is not way below your chin, because that will trigger the nervous system into fight or flight. So if you need a little lift underneath your head, please take it. Okay, we're coming into the second side. So again, when you're ready, go ahead, bend one knee at a time, feet on the floor. Keeping your right foot on the floor now, take your strap and lift the left foot and slide the strap underneath the sole of the left foot. And then again, holding either side of the strap with each hand, you're going to bend and straighten your leg up and down a few times. And just notice the difference now what the left side feels like in comparison to the right. We haven't stretched this side out yet. It probably feels a little more tight and dense and grumpy than the other side right now. Okay, so again, you can keep it active, staying here, or if you're ready, keep the foot lifted by pressing up through the heel to lengthen the back line. When that leg is straight up, go ahead and gently flex the foot, spread the sole of the foot, and spread the toes. And just breathing here with the ankle stacked over the hip. Breathing into the back of the thigh, back hamstrings. And then again, if you've got that yoga block or something, a nice firm cushion or something, you can bring it to the outside of the left hip, right up against the hip there. And then we're going to take both sides of the strap into the left hand. You can use your right hand onto your right hip bone here just to keep it grounded. And when you're ready, we're going to inhale to open our left leg out to the left. So again, take as much strap as you need so that you can slide your hands down to let your left elbow ground on the floor. So you're not powering through your left arm. Your left shoulder is able to slide down the back. The arm is not struggling to stay lifted. And then pressing out through the ball of the big toe, inner heel of the left foot to lengthen the inner line of the left leg. Breathing here. So stretching out the inseam of the leg is really great, because a lot of times people, habitually we can be tight on the inner line and then we roll to the outer edge. It's really helpful for balance to have that inner line stretched and strengthened. Okay, and then bring it back up. Now we're going to switch hands. So right hand holds both sides of the strap. And now you can take your left hand, heel of the palm, and press it into that hip crease, right where the thigh and torso meet. Get it down in there and press the thigh bone gently away from you. So you're in control always of how much pressure. So feel into what's right for you. And then slowly you start to let the left foot cross the midline, stack it over the right hip. Keep pressing your left palm into that thigh bone, press the thigh bone away from you, and slowly, slowly you can start to let the left foot cross over towards the right. So again, we're targeting the outer seam now of the left IT band, left outer hip and thigh area. And then when you're ready, bring the whole thing back to neutral. We're gonna switch. We're gonna straighten that right leg long. We're gonna take our left foot out of the strap as we bend the knee, and we plant the left foot on top of the right thigh. We open our left arm out to the left with the palm up, and we're gonna take our right hand to the outside of the left knee. As we exhale, we start to roll towards the right. So let your left knee cross the midline as you roll to the outer right hip. The left hip naturally comes off the floor, and taking a twist on the second side. And then again, notice how there's a twisting actually happening in this abdominal region. So what does it feel like here? What does it feel like to breathe here as the diaphragm is slightly taut? Imagine breathing and we're twisting out our organs, twisting out in order to let fresh blood circulate back in. So just take a big breath in, big breath out. And then when you're ready, let's roll back onto our backs. Hug the left knee in towards your chest. Keep your fingers interlaced with the other thumb on top. And then when you're ready, straighten the leg as you press both palms up overhead again. Take that full body stretch. And then again, bring your arms back by the sides. We're gonna bend our knees again, feet on the floor. Okay, so this time we're gonna come into a little bit of bridge pose. Actually, let's roll up first. So we're gonna go ahead and roll over to one side to come on up, coming on to just hands and knees. So if you've got sensitive knees, you can have a blanket underneath your knees, or if it's really not good for you to be on hands and knees, you can sit on a chair just with your hands on your thighs. If you have sensitive wrists and it's not good for you to be on your wrists with open palms, you can make fists with your knuckles down. Otherwise, if you're able to have big palms open, then ground the ball of your index finger mound, then the ball of the thumb. So those two inner points are grounded first. Then you spread the palms to ground the other three finger mounds in the outer heel of the palm. So now stack your wrists directly underneath your shoulders and your hips are directly over your knees. As we inhale, I'm realizing I'm wearing this big sweater. Nobody can see anything, sorry. So as we inhale now, go ahead and broaden your sit bones and let the sit bones slide up. As you do so, the belly naturally will hammock down a little bit. You slide your shoulder blades down the back, heart forward, and start to gaze up. As you exhale, it's reverse. Tailbone down, kidneys lift, chin to chest, crown of the head towards the floor. So inhaling, we arch into our cow pose. And exhaling, we round up into our cat pose. So if you're seated in a chair, then you're just doing this seated. So you're rocking forward and exhaling, you're rounding back, but your spine is vertical rather than parallel to the floor. So just a couple of cycles at cat-cow. Good. And then from here, if you're on hands and knees doing cat-cow, if you like, you can start to circle your hips over your knees as you continue to cat-cow. If you're doing the circular movement as you cat-cow, then you let your neck and your head just kind of move as they want to. If that is feeling too weird in your body, then just do straight up and down cat-cow. But if you are circling your hips, then you're going to circle in the other direction. And then bring it back to neutral. From here, we're going to come up to standing. So everybody, let's come up to standing. So if you do have things, props on your mat, you can move them out of the way for right now. Good. We're just going to come up to standing. We're just going to kind of move this area a little bit. So let's go ahead, start with your hands on your hips. And you want your feet just kind of nice, comfortable, like hip width apart. And we're gonna go ahead and just bring our hips forward. Send the hips forward and then send your hips back. And notice the weight shift in your feet as you shift forward and back. Forward and back. And then come to neutral. Now shift your hips over to the right and then slide them over to the left. Good. Over to the right and over to the left. And again, find neutral. Take a beat. We didn't ground into the feet, so really feel your feet, feel the four corners of your feet, and lift those inner arches a little bit. And then let there be a little micro bend in your knees. So the knees are not locked. There's a little give in them. Now we're going to shift our hips forward. We're going to send them to the right. We're going to slide them back and then over to the left. Bring them forward, right, back, and left. Forward, right, back, and left. Good. As you are able to hit those 4 points, maybe start to make it a little more circular. So we're circling our hips. So this is not a movement we do much in day-to-day living. You know, if somebody's doing this standing in line at a supermarket, everyone looks at them like they're kind of weird, but you can do it anyways. Okay, and then bring it back to neutral. We're going to take it other direction. So send those hips forward, left, back, and right. Forward, left, back, and right. Good. Forward, left, back, and right. Start to find a little more fluid movement as you hit those points, circling those hips. Good. And then bring it back to neutral. And now just wag your tail, wag your head, shake it out a little bit. Okay. And then here, I just want to do a little tapping just to help get our energy moving. As we tap, we're twisting. So we're, kind of massaging those inner organs. So now just find a nice comfortable stance with your feet, maybe even a little bit wider. You can even just turn your toes out ever so slightly and have your knees kind of bent, right? So make sure your feet are your knees are bent and you have a little give. And then just start shifting your weight a little side to side and start turning side to side. Let your arms be like wet noodles as your hands start to tap the body, right? So this is kind of the basic movement. You're breathing, you're twisting, your hands are tapping your body. I'm going to introduce 8 different hand positions, but if you get lost with the hands, don't worry, just come back here. Just tap, twist, breathe, smile, and enjoy yourself. Just enjoy this kind of twisting, tapping movement. This is the main focus. So we'll do each hand position to the count of 8. We'll do the whole sequence twice. So the first hand position, you're going to make fists with both hands. And then your front hand's going to tap your chest. Your back hand just taps the back body, wherever it lands. So this is 1. 2 is open palm over your shoulders. So I kind of like to aim my thumb down for that joint between my shoulder and my neck, because I find that's really gives me a little whack there. But just basically open palms over your shoulders. 3 is still open palms, but now you're aiming for your upper arm. So outer upper arm there. Yeah. And just remember to keep twisting. So sometimes I see people, they just move the arms, but the body is static. So make sure you're twisting through your waist and you're breathing. Okay, 4 now is we're going to palm up, karate chop your hip joints. So knife edge of the hand taps your hip joint. So just below your hip bone there. And then 5 is same karate chop. And now you're going to bend your knees a little bit above the knee joint. So not on the knee, but just above the knee. So you got to kind of bend into it a little bit. Good. 6 is still the same karate chop, but now pull it up to your waist. So tapping your waist. 6. 7's the tricky one, so don't get frustrated if you don't get it. Most people can't get it the first. It's not intuitive. 7, let your front arm wrap around your body, and then your back hand now palm up, reach it forward and up, and pat its own shoulder. And then take it and wrap that arm around the front, and your other arm, reach it forward and up, pat its own shoulder. Wrap that arm around. Other arm, forward and up, pat the shoulder. And then wrap it around, other arm, forward and up, pat the shoulder. So this is 7, and I know it's not intuitive, so if you don't get it, just laugh and have fun. Okay, and then 8, we just pat our belly. So that's easy. Okay, so now the whole sequence, let's start at a chest. So pounding your chest. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Over your shoulders. Remember to twist at your waist. Breathe. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Upper arms. You guys all look great. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now hip joint, karate chop. Again, below the hip bone there. 6, 7, 8. Above our knees. Bend into it a little. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bring it up to your waist. 2, 3, 4. Remember to turn at the waist. 6, 7, 8. Okay, 7. Wrap that front arm around. Other hand forward and up. Pat your back. Wrap that arm around. Other arm forward and up. Pat the back. Wrap forward and up. Pat the back. Wrap forward and up. Pat the back. Okay, 5, 6, 7. Good. 8. Yeah. Pat the belly. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Back to the chest. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Over your shoulders. 2, 3, 4. Are you turning at your waist? 8. Upper arms. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Hip joints. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Above our knees. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Awesome. Up to your waist. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, wrap that front arm and other hand back. Wrap the front arm, other hand forward, back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And belly. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Awesome, guys. Okay, wind it down. We're going to walk in place a little. So just lifting the opposite arm to the leg, just the way you normally walk, right? You walk, except maybe you don't lift your knees quite so high. So just think about it. It's like kind of like this cross crawl. All right, and then we're going to shake it out. Now wag your tail, wag your head, shake it out. Do a little jig. You can shake out one foot, shake out the other, shake out your hips, shake out your booty, shake out your chest, shake out your elbows and your hands. And then a little like hopping, just not really lifting off the ground, but just like you're shaking everything out of you. Good. Okay. Let's just do one. We're going to do some half salutations now. So coming into Tadasana, mountain pose, your feet can be hip width apart, or you can have your big toes together and your heels slightly apart. Just look down at your feet and make sure they're not all kind of kittywampus and like all. You try to get them to look more or less symmetrical, and you want your outer edges of the feet parallel, or another way to gauge it is like center of your index toe to the center of your heel. It's more or less parallel. And just notice how that feels. If it feels weird in your body when your feet are aligned and stacked. You just want your feet to be directly underneath your hips. And then again, take a beat to feel your feet. So ground the ball of the big toe in your inner heel, and then ground the ball of your pinky toe, your outer heel. Feel the four corners of your feet connected into the earth. And then grounding down into the earth, lift your inner arches and lift your inner ankles and lift your inner knees up, like you're sucking it up from the earth, up a big straw. Now roll your inner thighs back and broaden the sacrum in the back. And into that, can you pin your tailbone straight down into the earth? Good. And then we're going to shrug our shoulders forward, up, back, and down. A big shoulder circle. Let's do another one. They feel so good. Big shoulder circle. One more. Big shoulder circle. Next time your shoulders go back and down, keep those shoulder blades sliding back and down. Spin your palms forward. And now reach the back of the neck, back of the skull, straight up into sky. So tailbone is rooted into earth and crown of the head is connected into heaven. And then from your pelvic floor to the crown of the head, visualize it being connected with a beautiful beam of healing blue-green light. Yeah, and see yourself. Maybe even close your eyes for a beat. Feel the earth underneath your feet like you've grown roots and you're super grounded. And then see the tailbone connected with a beam of red light into the center of the earth. And the crown of the head connected into the center of the galaxy with a beam of white light. And then from your pelvic floor to the crown of the head, beautiful beam of blue-green healing light. And then blink open your eyes. We're going to ground down. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. Palms touch at the top. As we exhale, bend your knees a little bit as you bring your arms swan dive, hands to the thighs. Inhale, send your booty back as you lift your heart forward, so halfway lift. And then exhale, bend the knees. You can forward fold to whatever degree works in for you. You keep your knees bent as you need. Again, halfway lift. Press your hands into your thighs, send the booty back. Lift the heart, shoulder blades down the back, lengthen the front body. Exhaling, forward fold. So if balance is unsteady, you can always use a piece of furniture with your hands on it, like a chair or a table or something. Again, one more time, halfway lift. Inhale. Exhaling, fold. This time, root into your feet, pressing down. Sweep those arms out and up. Inhaling, bring it up. Gaze up. And then bring your hands down in front of your heart. Palms together in front of the heart. Take a beat. We're going to do that again. So release your hands. Grounding down. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Greeting the sun, greeting the day. Exhaling, swan dive. Bend the knees as you need. Hands on your thighs or your shins. Lift that heart up halfway. Exhaling, folding. So again, keep your knees bent as you need. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold, exhale. Last one, halfway lift, inhale. Fold as you exhale, grounding down, pressing down. Inhale, we rise all the way to the top. Palms touch at the top. And again, exhale, hands to the heart. Last one. Inhale, up. Exhaling, dive. This time, just halfway lift. Inhale. Fold as you exhale. Ground and rise. Sweep it up. And palms together in front of the heart. All right. So, no, we didn't get to do a Shavasana today. So that's this morning's practice. I hope you feel good and invigorated and ready for the day, and you've got your creative juices moving. I'm going to turn it back to Katie now. So Katie, I'm going to turn it over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kat, for another amazing demonstration. And I just have to share, I love that series of 8 kind of like chops into the body and that movement when I find that I've been sitting for too long. It's just the great thing to feel the blood pumping and kind of get moving again, because I always use those. All right, well, give me just a moment, everyone. I'm going to share my screen so that you can see the book that I selected for this week. So this week's theme is the Svadhisthana chakra. Its attributes include creativity and self-worth, and when balanced, it makes one feel more vibrant, happy, positive, and satisfied. So for that reason, I chose Big Magic, Creative Living Beyond Fear by Elizabeth Gilbert to share with you. Gilbert has written 9 books and is best known for her novel, Eat, Pray, Love. Gilbert opens Big Magic by asking, do you have the courage to bring forth the treasures that are hidden within you? According to her, every person has creativity within them, and the hunt to just uncover these jewels is called creative living. Creative living is about living a life that is driven more by curiosity than fear, but it isn't for everyone. Some people are afraid of being criticized, think that they have no talent, or that they won't be taken seriously. It takes courage to go on the hunt, but doing so can often lead to a more interesting and happier life. Gilbert shares that anyone can be creative. It's not just for the tortured artist. Whether you're a writer, a painter, an actor, a performer, someone who is looking to follow a dream, someone who wants to take on a new challenge, or someone who wants to infuse passion into everyday life, Big Magic provides insight and advice on how to begin living a truly creative life. And here's where the magic comes in. To Gilbert, creativity is a force of enchantment. It is actual magic. She believes that the planet is inhabited by plants, animals, humans, and ideas. Ideas have energy and need to be manifested, which can only happen with a human partner. Think about it like this. These ideas are swirling all around us, just waiting to be discovered. And they will try to make themselves known, but you have to be open to the idea, thus beginning the creative journey. And that's just what it is, a journey. There are ups and downs, but Gilbert urges the reader not to give up or turn your back on your creativity. In the chapter titled Trust, she discusses how your relationship with your art shouldn't be agonizing to the point that you want to abandon it or harm yourself over it. She says, why would your creativity not love you? It came to you, didn't it? It filled you with a desire to make and do interesting things. Creativity wanted a relationship with you. That must be for a reason, right? In other words, inspiration is always trying to work with you, and we need to just let it happen without torturing ourselves or scaring it away. Since we all experience difficult times with our art, times when we feel stumped or that we failed, Gilbert urges us to give ourselves grace when we don't succeed. She says, we are all beginners here, and we shall die beginners. Move on from your mistakes. Let it go. Don't let it defeat you, and trust that inspiration will find you again. My favorite quote, though, comes from her chapter on persistence, where she likens your creativity to a torrid affair. She says, let yourself fall in love with your creativity. Stop treating your creativity like it's a tired, old, unhappy marriage, and start regarding it with the fresh eyes of a passionate lover. Though a little unorthodox, I appreciate Gilbert's reminder that our creativity is something to cherish, to allow to flourish, and to appreciate. So Big Magic, Creative Living Beyond Fear is available in audio, ebook, and physical formats in the library collection, so you can check it out for yourself. And with that, thanks, Kat. Oh, thank you. With that, I would like to thank you all so much for joining us for Reach and Read, and a big thank you to Kat for another wonderful demonstration. We really appreciate having you. We'll be back next Thursday, November 3rd at 10 a.m. So we hope to see you then. So to find a library location near you, learn about upcoming programs for all ages, or to sign up for a library card, just go to www.saclibrary.org. So for Kat, myself, and the Sacramento Public Library, thank you so much and be well. Bye.